Rythmia. Welcome to life. Welcome to your life. So grateful to be here, to have this opportunity to share with you today. Taita Juanito is here this week. Wow. Amazing. What's transpiring? I got in this morning, I walked in to Roots, which is the cafe here at Rythmia, and there was such a feeling of peace and love. Like there was just this calm peace and love. It was so beautiful, it was palpable. And I've talked to some people while they're here, and it's just tremendous what people are drawn here for healing. People that are healing so much. It's so beautiful. And coming back to a sense of wholeness. And that's really what I wanted to talk about today, the prodigal son. You remember the story of the prodigal son in the Bible, right? The father had two sons. One, went out, took all the money and went and spent it on women and drinking and doing all that stuff, right? And then he ended up destitute, right? He's destitute, and he was embarrassed to go back to his father. And so he stayed away. Michael Stewart, greetings from Northern Michigan. Hey, Brother Michael, thank you. Donna, hello. Welcome. So glad you guys are here. So the story of the prodigal son. Prodigal son, there's two sons and a father. The father is, wealthy, and the son leaves and he goes out, spends all of his inheritance. And then he's embarrassed. He can't go back. So he ends up going to foreign lands, and he ends up working as a slave, in the pig troughs, the lowest of the low. And Shelly, what's up? And then, he exiled himself. And then he comes back. He finally says, I got a home. And he finally goes back home. And the father, kills the fatted calf and has a big celebration in honor of his son's return. Well, this is our story. This is the story of Rythmia, right? Like we were whole and complete as ourselves. And then something happened and we thought we were separate. And then we had guilt and shame because of that separation. For whatever reason, we weren't enough. We said we weren't enough. That's the story. I'm not enough. Something happened. And if I was enough, that wouldn't have happened. And therefore, I split from myself. And this little light of mine, hey, what up? So now we have guilt and shame, right? And the truth of our being is still here, always like, hey, you got nothing to worry about? No, I'm bad. And I'm going to exile myself from the good because I deserve to be wallowing with pigs in the mud, right? Let me exile myself. Let me make myself a slave to my habits. Let me make myself a slave to the lower thought forms of fear, doubt, worry, not enoughness. And then something happens and we realize there's got to be more to life than that. And we want to come back home, back to ourselves. And there's a big celebration when we come back because it was all self-exile. It was all an illusion. We were standing before a wall that wasn't even there at all. This is our story of wholeness, our story that nothing is being withheld. Nothing is being withheld. The only reason why we're wallowing in the mud is because of our unconscious guilt and shame over something that is a perception of what happened. And not even about what happened. We're wallowing in our guilt and shame over our story about what happened, right? So the story of the prodigal son is the story of the prodigal son and daughter, right? It's the story of the begotten. I love that Bible verse that says, God so loved the world. God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. And I don't know if this is true or not, but here's how I'm thinking about it. God don't love the world. Wow, why would I say that? Why would I say that God doesn't love the world? Because God is love. God is just love. the presence of love. The world is ephemeral and changing and has all sorts of bits of love in it, but all sorts of other stuff that's not love, right? God's eyes are too pure to perceive inequity, cannot deign to get caught in the mire of the mud. Otherwise, that would make the mud real. Mud's not real. So God is just love, this love. The world is our creation. We think God created the heavens and the earth. No, that's our creation. God is love, waiting for us to return to love, to return to wholeness, to return to the truth of who we are, eternal, enduring, unchanging, unhurt, unharmed, unendangered. This is now, I don't know, this is what's coming through. So you can just shoot me a text and say if Elme, Archangel, yes, I don't do something of my own. Of my own, it is the Father within that does the work. I do nothing of my own. Yes, that is saying it is the energy of love, the energy of the Spirit that is in, through, and as everything that automatically corrects, automatically organizes, automatically harmonizes. And the only thing that stops that organization, that harmonization. Hey, Nikki. Hey, Lola. Hola, mi amor. Only thing, Tanya, hello. The only thing that stops that harmony is our own unhealed guilt and shame. That's what rythmia is about returning to a state of wholeness, returning to a state of oneness, so that we see the truth of who we are, that we were never exiled, that the presence has always just been waiting for us to return home, to return to love. So this is the story of standing in front of a wall that wasn't even there at all. That we are the creators of this experience of life. Now, some people will be like, hey, Nancy and Larry from Tileran, thank you. So people say, I didn't create this. I didn't create what happened to me. How could you say that I created this atrocity? Well, there are a couple reasons why things manifest. We teach this here in a course called The Answer Is You, created by Reverend Michael Bernard Beckwith, Reverend Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith. And in that class, we teach that there are four windows of manifestation. So when people say, if God is so great, why do bad things happen? If God is so great, why is there war? Why is there famine? Why is there hate? Why is there rape? Why is there murder? Why did these bad things happen? How could my son or daughter be taken? How could this have happened? How could I have this experience occurred to me? Well, that's not God. That's humans. That's us and our own unhealed, unconscious guilt and shame being projected out on other people. It is the play of our own split unconscious that creates all of the muck and mire of the world. So the first window of manifestation becomes what is we teach as the Job effect. Job in the Bible manifested his worst fear. So he was wealthy and blessed and did all the right things, made all the right sacrifices. Whenever he screwed up, he went to the temple, did his stuff, right? And yet all this bad stuff happened to him. But then everything was returned. The Job effect is that we manifest our worst fears. So sometimes bad things happen to us because we're putting our energy on something that we don't want to happen. I don't want that 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 to happen. Oh, please don't let that happen. Please don't let that happen. That's my worst fear. Well, you're putting all that energy. We're putting all that energy on that thing. Even though we're saying I don't want it to happen, all of our energy is going there. We manifest it. That's the first window of manifestation. The second window of manifestation is a lesson. Sometimes our higher self creates situations for us to learn from. Like we are too comfortable and cozy in our egoic structures, watching Netflix, drinking, smoking, whatever it is that we're doing, buying, shopping, eating, sexing, whatever it is, we're too comfortable in that. And our higher self kind of kicks us off the curb, poof, and a lesson comes. So sometimes things manifest as a lesson to us. And it's there to teach us a lesson. And it's typically our higher self kind of kicking us out of the way. Like, I'm cool. Like, it's your higher self is sitting behind you and you're like, you know what? I'm good. I'm comfortable. Life is good. I got some money. I got stuff. I'm not so happy, but I'm comfortable, and I'd rather be comfortable than uncomfortable. So this is okay. And your higher self says, that's not what life is meant to be. Hold on a minute. And you get, something happens, boom, and you grow from it. So it's a lesson. Sometimes things manifest as a blessing, So, there's a story that we tell about that where a woman this is a true story. There were two sisters. This was in a book. There were two sisters that became really close, and they became so close that they became telepathic, and they really had this connection. One of the sisters died, and even in death, they maintained this connection, and they were connecting and talking to each other, the sister that was alive and the sister that was dead. So the sister that was dead one day said to the sister that was alive, you got to go find this woman. Her 11-year-old son who died is trying to get a message to her. So the story of the woman whose son died, she was a very powerful, successful businesswoman, and very hard, right? And she had this son, and the son was Down syndrome. And so, that was the first layer of learning compassion for her, that she softened up, right? Through the living with her son and being a caretaker for her son. And then at the age of 11, her son drowned in the pool. She came home and found him drowned in the pool. And, how could this happen? This is, tragic. The message the son told the other sister to tell the sister that was living, to tell the mother, was, I came as a blessing to you so that you could learn compassion. And my job was done. And so I wanted to tell you that it's okay, that you don't have to feel guilty, and you don't have to be sad, because my job was done when I came and you became this beautiful, compassionate, open-hearted, loving woman. The woman took her sorrow from hearing that message, and she's become a huge philanthropist, working with other Down syndrome children and mothers and fathers who have lost their children. So it outpictured as a blessing. Now, a lot of times when we're in the middle of something really, really bad happening, we can't see that. We have to have faith and trust that everything, even that which we can't see, is working together for our good. And then the fourth window of manifestation is race consciousness. So sometimes things manifest because of our collective unconscious. Like we might say COVID is a manifestation of race consciousness. Some of the political unrest that we see in the world is a manifestation of our own unrest within us. So this is where we get to do the work. If you want to heal the world, heal yourself. If you want to heal your family, heal yourself. So thanks, Tanya. Tanya says, wow, what a story. So this is where we get to heal the world by healing ourselves. That the unrest, that the ugliness, that the hate, the violence, the awfulness, the ugliness that we see in the world is really an expression of a collective sense of guilt and shame over whatever it is that we're experiencing. And it outpictures as political unrest, discord, disease, unhappiness. So those are the windows of manifestation. Katie Cox says, yes. Hi, Katie. She says, yes, it starts with healing myself. All healing is self-healing. All forgiveness is self-forgiveness. So the prodigal son is our story. The prodigal son or daughter is our story. That our home of wholeness, our home of perfection, our home of peace and love and joy and beauty and abundance and health and vitality and excellence and creativity and elegance and beauty. Our home is always there, waiting for us to return. We don't have to wallow in the mud. We don't have to live a life of drama and trauma. Everything is unfolding for our good, even when it doesn't appear to be. Even when it doesn't appear to be. We just have to have a little faith, a little patience, a little trust, a little awareness, and some practice. So that is our Facebook Live today. Thank you guys so much. Remember that nothing is being withheld. Everything is being freely given. We simply need to turn our bowl of acceptance right side up so that we can receive. And I am so grateful, so thankful. So, Chris, last time you came up with some vegan stuff, and I just want to say, brother, I love you and I appreciate you, and I thank you. And one of the things that we must do is accept others just as they are. Because if you truly want to change the world, acceptance is the only way. If you really want to change another, the only way is fully accepting them just as they are. For acceptance is the only thing that liberates. Condemnation and judgment never liberate. So, loving you, sending you much love, all of you. Thank you, Michael. I'll see you in November. Thank you. Peace and richest blessings.